Hello and welcome back to another episode of FGTN. I'm Alex and today we're diving deep into some absolute gems in fishing tech. We've got the jaw-dropping Garmin 9000 series chart plotters, StrikeMaster's new offering for this year, the 10-inch light flight drill, Nordic Legend's latest line for this year, and so much more. Plus, we're going to talk about Ghost Drag and the Icehole Power run and gun that I just saw drop today. Drop in the chat here as we get going, where you're tuning in from, and feel free to ask any questions as we go along. These streams are for you guys, sharing the latest and greatest in fishing gear and tech. So let's go ahead and jump in. Switch on over here. I did see here before the stream started, Michael Gates said, looks like Clam is going to announce new products this week, so hopefully I do a video on the latest products from them. I will, and I actually have some pretty exciting news for you guys. Matt Johnson from Clam will actually be joining a podcast episode either later in October or early November once we can get some schedules planned out here. But he'll be hopping on and going through all of the Clam new gear with us. So I'm pretty excited about it. That's going to be great. I will also have a video even before that on the channel of all the new Clam gear. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. We got Eskimo later, actually October. I don't want to get the date wrong. It is October 17th, Tuesday the 17th, 6 p.m. Central. We're going to have Eskimo on as well. And there's actually going to be an E40 auger giveaway on that podcast. You'll see a lot drop in around that in the 2 weeks leading up to it. But yeah, we're going to get some of these brands on to actually speak to their products on these podcasts. Otter, I've reached out to a few different ways. Nobody's responded yet. So we'll see if Otter's interested in hopping on a podcast. If any of you know somebody from Otter, that would be great, or can get me a connection there that would be interested in somebody that works at Otter Outdoors that wants to talk about their new gear, shoot me a message either via email or Instagram or Facebook. I would appreciate that. Thanks. All right, we got Jory saying, let's go. Charles from Edmonton, AB. That's Canada. Nice. Love our Canada guys. High-tech redneck man. I love new gear. Central New York here. Welcome from New York. Nice to see ya. Here from the corner of Minnesota, Iowa, South Dakota. Love it. Love it. Prairie Custom Rods and Lures. Any idea when I can get flightings for the Ion Alpha? I want to get a 10-inch. Are you talking about just the flightings, the 10-inch flightings, like the replacement flightings, or are you talking about the actual auger bits themselves? If you're talking about the actual auger, they should be in stock in some stores. If not, in October, they will be available for you to pick up. Oh, we got Jim Seagraves Fishing. Hey, how's it going, man? Nice to see you here. I'll see if I can get Otter to email you. That would be great if you know somebody there. Otherwise, we've got maybe some other people here in the chat that are even at Otter too. Kyle, welcome to the chat, man. Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Love it. Just the flighting. Yeah, I would, the replacement flighting, or are you talking about the auger bit itself? If it's just the flighting, you'll probably have to give them a call or shoot them an email. That's a replacement part, and they have those year round. All right, let's go ahead and jump in. So the first thing, there's a lot of guys that got really excited about the Garmin 9000 series. I've got a full video just on it coming out, but I didn't want to skip it as I haven't talked about it on a podcast yet. So we're going to talk a little bit about it. It is something that I think is really exciting and interesting. However, I don't know how many of us it's actually going to be helpful for. I don't know if I'm even going to get it. I've got their previous flagship model, the 8000 series, the 8600 series. The 9000 is intended to be built into boats, flush mounted, like what you're going to see here in this picture, on a dash. It's their very high-end screens, and we'll get a little bit more into it. But this is the news release, and then we'll jump to their product page. they kind of land on a few of the things that are most important here. So it's the 9000 series. Previously, the 8000 series was their flagship. It's available in sizes of 19-inch, 22-inch, 24-inch, or 27-inch. They're full touchscreen, edge-to-edge displays. As you can see here, these are big screens. These are not your small ice fishing screens. These aren't for, that you're going to necessarily have in your walleye, your bass boat. I mean, sure, could you? Sure. But I haven't seen a good bracket to mount these anywhere other than flush mounted, like in a dash or into a console or something like that. So I think that'll limit some of us, and they're very expensive too. But what's great about them is they are 4K resolution. There's not many. In fact, I don't know of any other chart plotter in the industry that has 4K resolution. That's a true chart plotter MFD multifunction display. So this is pretty freaking awesome. There's a huge upgrade in the processor. They say it's 7 times faster than their previous fastest, which was that 8600 series. So if you think about that 7 times faster, that's incredible. If you think about lag that sometimes you have when, loading maps, saving waypoints, doing charting, doing your own charts on there as you're kind of going along in the water, or live scope, that like it should be non-existent with these new ones. And they also have the new Garmin BlueNet gigabit network. So it's no longer, it doesn't have a normal Ethernet jack on the back of it. I'll show you some pictures here. It's using the BlueNet gigabit network. So these are new, and they are MFDs, multifunction displays. Okay, so let's just jump over to Garmin's page. So you'll see it looks just like the 8600, the 8000 series that they previously had, where it's got your like, I think it's a plastic cover. It might even be metal on these ones at the top and the bottom, and then the rest is all glass. You can see how thin these are, which is pretty nice. They do have these lips on the edge because that's where screws go to go into your console or into your dash to hold it down. But you can see here video. So there's video hookup on it, full control of your boat, right? So it has everything that they've had in them, plus a few new things. You can see how you can do lots of multi-screen, different layouts on it. They're showing off some of their Navionics Plus mapping here. Let me jump down to the back of the unit. All right, so this is the back of the unit. I'm gonna try to make this a little bit bigger, and it doesn't want to, so we're gonna use this guy. All right, so this is the back of the chart plotter, the MFD. So you're gonna see a power port on the left, that's in red. That's his two-prong power port, which is good. Then you've got network ports. So you can see these are the new BlueNet gigabit network ports. There's 4 of them on here. So they do make now an adapter to go from this, I don't know how many pins it is. I want to say it's 12 pins or something like that, to your normal Ethernet adapter. However, it's not going to necessarily work that way. They make an additional box that sits now in between, so that way this can connect to all of the previous chart plotters of the GPS map series. So it is still backwards compatible, network compatible, but it is the GPS map series is the only ones that I know of. I don't think it's compatible with the EcoMap units in terms of networking together, which was the same as before. EcoMap could network with EcoMap, EchoMap, whatever you want to call it, and then GPS map with GPS map. This is the same, except you need a box to communicate in between because they have the new network ports. You've got an audio input. So this is if you're using like a radio type of thing, like two-way radio audio input. You've got 2 HDMI ins, including one being an ARC in. Then you've got an HDMI out. You've got 2 USB-C ports. You've got a composite video in, so for like your fish camera. And then you've got the Nimia 2000 and then a J1938. And then underneath the back of this, you actually have 2 micro SD card slots. So that's what this is. So let's get into like what's new on it. So again, we already talked about the sizes. Look at the price point on this thing. $10,000 for a 19-inch. The 27-inch is $17,000. This is definitely not something that's within my budget for one screen, but I do think it's for like the coastal fishermen, people that have like the big yachts, those types of things, especially because it's got to be that flush dash mounted. It I I think this is for a very specific consumer, but I wanted to talk about it so that way you guys know about it in case you hear about it. I'm not planning on upgrading to it, but who knows? Maybe down the road, one day, it could be cool. You can get it with either the worldwide base map. You can save $100, or you can get it with Navionics Plus. You get 1 year subscription to Navionics Plus with it. If you get this one for $100, which normally it's $150 per for that first year. They do have Navionics Plus Vision, which is extra to get the higher res mapping above and beyond that, but that's not included. You have to pay for that extra. Okay, so what are the key differentiators? And then we'll move on. So we've got the premium 4K IPS sunlight readable touchscreen display. So it's brighter and it's 4K resolution. Just kind of looking backwards, 1280 was the highest resolution that we had before. So this is not quite 4 times the resolution, but very close to it. 7 times faster processing power, gigabit speeds. So before, I think they were 100 megabit Ethernet ports. So this is 10 times as fast. Then we've got video integration with capabilities with HDCP distribution. So what this is talking about is that you can now actually have broadcast TV. So like if you have a cable box, you can plug it in, and you can not only plug it into one screen, but if you have multiple of these on your boat, through that the Blue Net network, you can actually share that cable TV, the protected, encrypted connection over all of your devices. So that way, think about if you were on a big yacht, you could actually use and see that that cable TV program. Maybe it's NFL on the weekend that you have playing on a Sunday. You can actually watch that on all the screens with one coming into one screen. Currently, none of their chart plotters, even though they may have video in, like the 8600 series, you can't actually share that over even an Ethernet port. So that's one of the new capabilities of that networking, and then this device itself. Sonar targets, see them like never before with the 4K resolution, and then network with multiple chart plotters, cameras, and sonar. So they've got other devices that you can hook up to them. You can add extra inputs into it. Pretty powerful unit. And so this is where you're going to see some of the screenshots that they have, the Blue Net network. So that way you don't have to have everything plugged into one. You can network them. You've got your full ecosystem capable with those backwards compatible ports that they have on there, high definition sonar. Like these things, they can do pretty much everything. The biggest takeaways that I have is 4K resolution, it's faster, new network configuration is going to be required for it, which is pretty complex for those of us that already have certain screens. It's very expensive and they're big screens. So hopefully that answers a lot of you guys' questions. I'll go more in depth in a side-by-side comparison versus the Ultra series from EcoMap, so you can see how it's in a completely different league, and then where it is a step up from the 8600, 8400 series that they previously had. So look for that on the channel coming soon. All right. Next up, well, before I go, I should see. Trevor is saying 19 to 27 inch. Wow, yes. 10K, yes. Insane. You need to do it for a living to justify those. You do, or you need to charter, or you got to be a millionaire, or you got to know somebody that has a charter business or has a yacht. I'd love to see one of these in person. Like, I don't even think retailers are going to have these on display, because I can't imagine like even a Cabela's or a Bass Pro Shop would sell very many of these. I think they're probably going to come through specific boat dealerships, I would imagine. I have no clue. I don't work with Garmin. But yeah. Okay, cool. Next up, the StrikeMaster 10-inch laser light drill. So I was actually getting incredibly excited. What was it, a week and a half ago? StrikeMaster had put on their Facebook page, we've got some exciting new announcement basically coming soon. And I was like, oh my gosh, because we all know Ion came out with their Alpha and Alpha Plus last year, which I think stole the cake for the best auger in the industry. Then this year, Eskimo from the same parent company underneath with Ion as well. So now Ion has the flagship. Eskimo has the E40 that they came out with this year, which is now the lightest 8-inch composite auger on the market, even lighter than the StrikeMaster 24 volt. I was like, oh my gosh, StrikeMaster is coming out with an even lighter one because they've been innovating for the past several years since they haven't really released a whole lot. Then I found out it was just this, which this is great for those that have the 40 volt auger and wanted to get the 10-inch light flight bit on it, the composite bit to make it lighter. They had this previously, so this is not necessarily a new product. It's a new standalone offering. So what I mean by that is last year, what you could buy, we'll show you the electric ice augers here. You could get the lithium 40 volt light in 10-inch. So you could get this last year. This was an offering that they had. It's the 40 volt power head with the 10-inch light flight. You could not buy the 10-inch light flight by itself. So if you had an 8-inch, if you bought the 8-inch version, there was no way to get the 10-inch light flight with it. You had to buy it as a kit. Now, this year, what's new is they've got where you can purchase the 10-inch. Where is it? Here it is. Got to get back to it. You can purchase the 10-inch by itself. So now if you had the 8-inch light flight before, you can buy this for $236.49, which is an interesting price point. But obviously from other retailers as well at different price points, you can purchase this and then put it on there. 10-inch auger bits I find to be the most useful in permanent shacks. I like using 8-inch. You can fit a massive fish up an 8-inch hole. I've never caught a fish other than the muskie last year I caught through the ice. I've never caught a fish that wouldn't fit up an 8-inch hole. And I'm talking like you could probably fit a 32-inch walleye up an 8-inch hole. I've seen people do it on videos online. I haven't caught a 32-inch. My biggest is a 29 or 29 and a half inch walleye through the ice. So hopefully this year I break that. But 10 inches is great for inside of a permanent shack, wheelhouse, skid house, those types of things, because overnight they have a tendency to get a little bit more drift and draft underneath, and then those holes close up a little bit. And usually you have protective covers you can put over the top. But if you're out, 8 inches is my go-to. But this is from StrikeMaster. This is the new thing that they've got. Imagine the battery needs for those Garmins. Yeah, I bet you they're pretty power hungry. In fact, let's go back and look at the specs on here. Sometimes they put it on here. Otherwise, we'd have to go in the manual. 5 amp. So typical current draw is 4.6 amp. So it's, believe it or not, it's actually not that bad. I would say it's about double what you're going to get on like an Ultra. So like if you have the 106 Ultra, I think that's 2.3, I want to say. So it's double. So you're going to go through twice as fast. I thought it was going to be a little bit more than that. You can see max amp draw at 12 volt DC is 5, but you should be around that 4.6. It's interesting. Yes. Power hungry. Abandoned Soul. I'm just throwing this out there. Shields is stocking ice fishing jigs. So if you're looking for Wonder Bread color lures, get them now. You're 100% right. Wonder Bread is one of those colors that goes very, very fast. So if anybody's looking, I did see a post also online that Shields is stocking their ice fishing stuff already. So make sure that you check them out, probably online or go to one of their stores. We should start seeing that stuff hitting a lot of retailers here in early October. It's going to be a crazy, crazy year. All right. Kyle says, I got my lake trout on the bay out of 8-inch. Yeah, exactly. So like 8-inch holes are big enough to get a lot through. All right, let's keep going here. Nordic Legend, new Explorer series. So I've got one video on my channel about Nordic Legend from 2 years ago when they launched their Aurora series. This year, which was, I think the thing a lot of people think of when they hear Nordic Legend, orange is kind of their flagship color, but the shacks that they have them built in a way that you can actually have a wood burning stove go through them with the hole and everything in it. They actually sell a kit for it. So that's pretty cool. But this year, they are launching the new Explorer series. And what that is, it's 3 products. They've got the Nordic Legend Explorer Double Ice Shelter, and they've got the Nordic Legend Explorer Ice Shelter, which I'll click on these and show you what they are. And then they've got the a floating suit as well. So let's click on the double here. So this is the Double Ice Shelter coming this year. So this may look like, to me, it looked very familiar, right? It looks like, oh, maybe it's an Eskimo 850, maybe it's an Otter, Monster Lodge. It's the double hub style, right? And then if you look at it, you've got the triangle door on this side. I'm trying to make this bigger for you guys. Triangle door on this side. You've got the big open door on the front. This should work. I can't click through here, so I got to scroll down. This website doesn't like me right now. So you got the big door here on the front. You've got the small triangle door in the back, and then another of the big door. I don't know why they have 2 of the same picture in here, but it is like, I looked very closely at this. This is very, very similar to both the Clam and the Otter. I think there's components of each that you're going to see here. The windows look like they're the removable windows that you would typically see in the Otter shacks that have the removable windows. I know some of their shacks don't. But from a style perspective, Eskimo has a little bit different window style. Then in terms of the insulation, you're looking at like the same type of insulation. 300D gray interior, it's fire retardant, the double twin wide bottom. So you're going to see it's got the full open door, because we know that Clam came out with full doors this year, but they have the bottom still closed off. They say from a draft perspective. So this is more like the Eskimo or the Otter. And it's right in line with them from a pricing standpoint. I might try to get one of these to test this year and put up side to side versus maybe one or both of the other brands, just to see what the difference is. But I know a lot of them, they just manufacture in China. So there's not necessarily going to be a ton of differences in them, because it's probably some of the same factories that are making this stuff. I'd like to see what promotional pricing is between the 3 of them, the Eskimo, the Otter, and the Nordic Legend. But that's what this one is. So this is the first new shack that they have this year with the full door. And then they have essentially the single hub version of it, where it's not the double wide. And so you've got the triangle door on the back. You've got the big walk-through door. Wrong side. They just showed it open and closed. So you got the big walk-through door on the front. You've got the triangle door on the back. And then this looks like just like a product rendering here. So this is the same type of thing. Very similar, again, to Eskimo and to Otter from what I've seen so far. The 300D. This is 75 square feet. Includes the propane port. Like it's very, very similar. I haven't seen the inside of these. I haven't seen them in person yet. But let me know if you guys would be interested in seeing how these stack up versus the Eskimo and the Otter, I guess, versus the Clam as well. But I know from a design standpoint, it is different than the Clam. I just think that it's very similar to those other 2 brands. So let me know if you want me to try to get one of these, both of these, or whatever this year, put a video out trying to compare the 2. Let me know down in the chat here, either on the live stream or afterwards. Put it in the chat, and then I can try to see if I can get my hands on one or both of those. All right. This is actually pretty impressive. So $349.99. It's their pre-order right now, but it's the Nordic Legend Legendary Camo Ice Gear. This is a float suit. So if you remember, this is what they looked like last year. They had a floating suit last year as well, $299.99. I'm not a huge fan of these colors. It looks like you're a construction worker. Not hating on anybody that likes these. Not hating on construction workers at all. I just didn't want this type of styling for myself when I was out on the ice. I really like some of those camo patterns that companies are coming out with. And so I was incredibly happy to see that Nordic Legend came out with a camo pattern themselves. And it is a float suit. And you get the full suit for $349.99, which is pretty awesome. Release date is the 15th of October, 2023. I'll have links to everything down in the description, and I'll pin a comment down below after the stream is over. It's tomorrow when it gets all rendered up and all that stuff will drop in there. So if you're interested, check it out. I'm not working with any of these brands. I don't have any sponsorships. They're not paying me anything to say anything about them. But I thought this was actually a pretty cool offering that they have. I have a black hole, green and black, non-floating version of one of their previous suits, made by the same factory, just different color pattern for a different company. And it's really warm. I have no complaints about it. They're big pockets in the front, which are pretty nice. No complaints about it. They're a nice jacket. So for $350, it could be a steal of a deal, given that really cool pattern on it. So that is the new Explorer series. Anybody got questions here on Nordic Legend before we keep going? Charles says Cabela's up here, already started putting out ice gear a couple weeks ago. That's awesome to know. I'm going to go check out our Cabela's maybe even tomorrow and see if they got any ice gear out here in the Twin Cities as well. Thanks for the call out there so people know where to go check out. Ice Shelter looks like the new ground blind the DNR is making people use this year. Funny. Terry Johnson, late, but I made it. Thanks, Terry, for tuning in. Really appreciate it. I think you're gonna like some of the stuff that we got on the stream tonight. Charles, I know an 8-inch hole will work 90% of the time, but a 10-inch hole will always be big enough. That is true. 10-inch will always be big enough. I personally, especially now, if you follow me on any of the social media platforms, you know I just had a daughter this year. And so I'm ultra, I don't think she's making it on the ice this year, but I'm ultra, I guess you could say, cautious now. Not that I wasn't before, but having those big crater holes open, not marked. Anytime that I would use a 10-inch auger, I would make sure that I mark it, especially if there's rain in the forecast or a little bit of a warm up. Those can grow pretty substantially. So that's why I don't typically use them, because even a full-size person, after a good rain, those holes get big. So I typically don't, but I totally get it. If you're targeting those bigger fish and that's what you got on, 100%, they're nice to have. Plus, they use more battery too. That's the other downside. They don't freeze over as fast. That's 100%. Yeah, like if it's crazy cold out, sometimes that would be the way to go. If you're going to be camping for a little while there and you got some jaw jackers or some tip ups out, that's a good call out. Nordic 360 coming soon. Love it. Clam crew type stuff. Yes. Turnaround factor in a 10 hole as well. That is true. I guess both ways. I'm not sure if you mean this from a positive or a negative. If you have a 10-inch hole, it's easier to turn the fish to get it up the hole to come out if it's a longer fish and you can't get its mouth to come up the hole. But then again, from the negative side, if you've got it in the hole, it can turn around and get back out, jump off your hook and get back out. I've had that happen several different times. Kyle says, had a bud's foot go through one of those holes last season. Yes, it can definitely be scary. Grab some Sven sleeves to bring your daughter out. I should. I've got cats covers as well. I'm still dialing in what my setup's going to look like this year out on the ice. Of course, I've got portables and those types of things as well. So we'll see. Got to convince the wife to let her come out too. Jory, too bad I already have the Eskimo 850 XD and the Otter Vortex Monster. You're decked out, Jory. No new hubs for me. Yeah, I think this one would be pretty repetitious to what maybe you already got. Wheelhouse at -20, 10-inch hole for 100%. Yeah, permanent shacks, skid houses, wheelhouses, 100%. Get the 10-inch hole. That's what I love them for myself. All right, let's keep going. All right. This was kind of a teaser. This is a product called the Ghost Drag. I found this in one of the news things that I get emailed on. It's the bait running release. It's an interesting product, so I wanted to bring it up so that you guys know about it. What it is it's this little clip thing. You can see they make them in a few different colors. I'll try to blow this up, make it a little easier for you to see here. So what it is, I don't know if it shows more if I click on it. Oh yeah, here we go. So what the Ghost Drag is you can see it's a plastic thing that clips onto your rod. I'm going to go back. You're not going to be able to hear it, but I will play a short video while I'm talking about it that will explain a little bit about what it is. So it's this plastic piece here that you can see. He's going to put it on his rod. He's got just a normal spinning reel. The idea, the entire intention of this is that way you can cast your line out and the fish won't feel tension when it grabs your hook in the bait. So you hook your line through it. You can set the tension however light or heavy you want it to be, but this is just to hold it for the fish to grab the bait so you know when it's grabbed it. So in this video, the fish just grabbed it. It's pulling. You have your spool open, so it's free lining. They don't have any tension. The idea here is that they're going to take the bait because they don't feel any tension. It's going to swallow it. Then you flip your spool over, you set the hook, and you can fight the fish. The reason why it's called Ghost Drag is because it doesn't feel any drag at all. It's a pretty cool concept. I'm not 100% like yet figured out on. I could see it being a bite indicator for you that something is taking it. So maybe if you have like live bait on there or something like that, and you don't want it just unspooling from the live bait, that could be the benefit of it. But if you just leave your finger on the top of your spool with it open and let your finger do that initial pull off and then let go, it could do the same thing. Maybe if you want an unattended rod, this could be interesting. But I thought it was an interesting product. It's not super expensive. It's not super cheap. I would say it's pretty average price, $20 for a one or $53.97 for a 3-pack. You could save 10%. Might be worth trying. Maybe next year I'll try it. Problem here in Minnesota, open water, is you can only use one line at a time per fisherman on our like interstate lakes. And so I wouldn't necessarily have a line just sitting there. And if I did, I'd probably use a bobber, but it's a pretty interesting concept. Wonder what you guys think. Drop it in the chat. Let me know. All right. Run in gun. I think this just dropped today. I could be wrong, but I just found out about this today on Facebook. This is the Icehole Power run-in gun. If you don't know about Icehole Power, they make power boxes. He has a YouTube video where he's actually done a lot of battery testing as well. Very, very good company. So check this out. So it's a little box that you hook a drill battery up to. You can either hook a DeWalt up to it, or you can hook a Milwaukee battery up to it. And this is what they call their glory hole. So you would choose DeWalt or Milwaukee for a battery type. Milwaukee or DeWalt. They look like they're both on sale right now for $89.99. And then we'll talk about the clam adapter in a second here, but you choose your big accessory. Do you want the glory hole, which is what this is, which is essentially a lighted jig holder. So that way it's got UV lights in it. So that way when you need to glow your jigs for ice fishing, or I guess even open water, you can use it for that. They also have an SAE port that you could put there, or you can put binding posts there as well. And then the small accessory, which is hard to see in this photo here. So the small accessory is right next to the power on off switch in this photo here. I'll make it a little bigger for you guys. This is the small accessory. This is the big accessory. So the way that I would do it is Milwaukee, because I have Milwaukee tools. I would do, probably the glow cup, and then you can either do 12-volt power port. So this is going to be a barrel connector, or you can do USB-C, which is probably what I would do. You charge a phone, charge something like that. The clam adapter, I'm not 100% sure on what this is, but you can see here, you can either say yes or no to it. I believe it's this side piece right here, and it says clam adapter. So I'm imagining the clam plate mount on it. If we look at the clam plate, does it slide over the end of it? Has anybody else seen this? Did you guys see it today? Do you know what, does it slide over the top so that way when you've got your clam plate out, You can actually have your glow cup on the back of it, so you don't need to carry it separately. Maybe it's right next to your drill battery, so you just pop it off your drill, pop it right. I don't know. Maybe we can get some clarification. Otherwise, I can reach out to him too and try to figure it out. But pretty cool that they've got the portable glow cup, so that way you can, give it to whoever's in your shack or whatever. Portable USB charger is really nice if you want to top off your phone or something like that. But this was pretty cool. This is a new product from Icehole Power for this year. It's called the Running Gun, and it looks like right now it's $10 off. Free shipping for orders over $20 to the lower 48. I'm not sure what shipping is to Canada. Sorry about that. Battery not included, of course. So it looks like right now Milwaukee and DeWalt only, and it looks 3D printed. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I have no clue on the insides of this. It's obviously got a voltage converter from 18 to 12. I don't know if it has low battery cutoff. I've actually, in a different branded product, I actually killed a 12 Milwaukee, like a $250 battery. I killed it because I had something similar to this hooked up to it, and it drained the battery so low it couldn't recharge. I tried jumping the battery and everything, and it wouldn't work. So just be cautious with it. Maybe we'll find out some more detail on it. Knowing Jeremy, I'm sure he's put some thought into this. He knows a lot about batteries, so I'm sure he's put some thought into it. But yeah, pretty cool. I might check it out this year, and you guys might see it in a couple of videos, and I'll talk more about it once I have a little bit of experience with it, but I wanted to show it to you guys. All right, any questions on this guy or anybody else see this before we jump to the next thing? Charles is saying, for sure about kids, this is about the 10-inch hole. When I started taking my son out when he was 2, I stuck with 8-inch till he got that he couldn't step near inner hole. He's fine. Yeah, 100%. Up here for most of the season, 10-inch hole will freeze over enough for me at 240 pounds to step on it and not break through at all. Yeah, on those cold nights, for sure. I mean, there's days I do an 8-inch hole, and an hour later, it's already got a 1/4 inch of ice on it. You let that thing go for a few hours, and you're going to have, 3+ inches of ice, and that small area is going to be pretty dense. Aberdeen into split shot in a controlled environment. Yes, I think you're talking about the Ghost Drag. Oh snap, finally get to watch live. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Broke Mofo Outdoors with Luke. I'm assuming you're Luke. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, we're doing these every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Central, as much as I can. I know we've missed a few over the last couple of months here, but ice season is ramping up. It's coming in. We've got a few of the different brands. We've got Clam. We've got to confirm the date still. Matt Johnson will be on a podcast episode coming up here talking about all of their new gear. We've got Matt from Eskimo. He'll be on October 17th. If you want to tune into that podcast, at the end of the episode, we're doing that one live. The one with Matt Johnson will be recorded. So I'll drop, some stuff out there so you guys can ask questions about the Clam stuff that should be announced later this week. I'll do a video on it too. But the Eskimo one on October 17th, we're giving away an E40, the new Eskimo auger. We're giving one away, the 8-inch composite. So you're going to want to make sure you tune into that. We'll give it away at the end of the stream. Both of those are just to talk about the new ice gear and hopefully answer your guys' questions on them with somebody from the brand that hopefully knows all the insider information. So make sure that you tune into those. I think it's going to be absolutely awesome. Haven't got any confirmation from Otter yet. Haven't gotten a single response from them. I've tried reaching out a few different ways. Otter, I'm not sure if I don't get a response from them, they may not be on this year. But I'm hoping I can keep trying to reach out. I'd love to have Otter on. I'd love to have all the different brands on to speak about their product. One of the really cool things about my channel is I don't work exclusively with any ice fishing brand. I want to use it all. I want to show it all. And I want to just tell you the honest truth on what I think about them. Of course, I've had many opportunities to work with specific brands, but it's just easier. It's more fun this way to be able to do the comparison videos and not have to say, oh, now I work with X brand. I can't do anything with the other. So, yeah, cool. All right, we're going to go ahead and keep on going. Next up, so I have a website. Not sure if you guys know this. It's alextimm.com. There's not a whole lot on there. But what I wanted to show you is there's a page on here that I just started putting together. I'm going to have a newsletter later this week. I'll have some signups on here. It'll be links down below to it as well. It's going to be a monthly newsletter on the latest gear and tech that's released. So kind of a summary of a lot of these podcast episodes we do. So make sure that you check that out. I'll remind you guys on next week's podcast as well, but it'll be live before that. So you'll be able to come to the website, throw your email in there. Gear deals, anytime you see sales, if I've got discount codes for you, I'm going to try to do those types of things through a monthly newsletter because I know not everybody's able to necessarily tune into these. So look for that. But this page, I'm going to keep updated. So this is for 2023, 2024 ice fishing shows. These are the ones that I know of. And I'll tell you which ones I'm right now planning on going to. If there's other ice shows that are happening this season that you know of, please let me know and I'll get them added to the list so that way they're all in one spot for anybody that wants to see them. But October 28th to the 29th, 2023, this is the first one that I know of this season, which is just over a month away. It's the North Metro Ice Show in Ramsey, Minnesota. I've got a link here to each of them. I don't know if I'll click on all of them, but for instance, this one right here, it's in Ramsey, Minnesota. This is what it looks like. They had a drone flying around out there last year. This is last year's show. It's all under one roof. It's in I think it's called the Adrenaline Sports Center. I'm going to be attending this one 9 to 5 and 9 to 2 on Sunday. They've got shacks there. They've got all the vendors. Hey, here's the Monster Lodge that we were just talking about from Otter. Pretty cool. They're full door, pro resort. Nice. Clams there. So you got all the big brands that are there. You've got places you can buy the product, so it's not just a showcase. So many of the different vendors are there. There's StrikeMaster. There's a ton of them. They do have a trout fishing pond as well at this one, so pretty interesting. But anyways, you can go to their website, get all the details there. I'm not going to put them all on the website. You can just click on the link, but I've got them linked up. I'm planning on going to that one. I shoot video at each of these. So if you see me while you're there, say hi. We can chat for a little bit. Excited to always hear what people are picking up, what they're most excited about at each of these shows. So you can probably catch me at this one if you're going to be there and in the area. I know a lot of these are kind of in the Minnesota area. I think we do most of the ice shows. There's a few others on the list though. November 10th to 12th, so 2 weeks later, Sioux Falls, South Dakota. This is the Dakota Ice Angler Institute. This is another big show that has been growing year after year. It's in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. It's in, I think they call it the Convention Center there. Oh yeah, Sioux Falls Convention Center. I've gone to it the last 2 years. I'm going to it again this year. So I'm excited to see anybody that goes to it. Again, really packed show. All the vendors are there. So check that one out if you're interested in it. The following weekend is the Hard Water Ice Fishing Expo in Blaine, November 17th to the 19th. Planning on going to this one as well. This one is a little bit of a tighter area that it's in. Both of the other ones are in big, huge open spaces. The Hard Water Ice Fishing Expo is in the National Sports Center in Blaine. They've got plenty of space, but the rooms are kind of spaced out and they're a little bit tighter. The aisles are a little bit tighter. I'm planning on being at this one at least on Saturday probably, but the aisles are a little tighter. I'd recommend going to one of the other two if you kind of want some breathing room and not to feel like you're on top of people, or just don't go on Saturday. If you go on Sunday, I heard this thing usually is pretty wide open for you as well. But you get a lot of the different vendors here as well. Not as big as the other two, but another great show. December 1st through the 3rd. So this is, I think it still has the title for the largest ice fishing show in the country. This is the St. Paul Ice Fishing Show. I am going to this probably on Saturday. I'll get the VIP pass, which means you get in 2 hours before regular hours open. So make sure that if you're looking to go and you don't want to wait in crazy long lines, I'd recommend Friday or Saturday getting in the VIP. You can get there a little bit early. Friday is going to be a day. Friday VIP hours will probably be the earliest in the show that you can go without the craziest lines. Even VIP on Saturday gets a little busy, but then at 10 a.m. on Saturday, like it's crazy. Like it is absolutely insane. It is a massive, massive show. multi-level. Like, it is, every vendor that has ice fishing products wants to be at this show. The booths aren't cheap, but a lot of product can be sold here. So if there's one show to go to, this would be the one that I would recommend. Again, you can find the links on the page that I'm talking about here. I'm planning on going on Saturday to that one. Wisconsin Ice Fishing Expo. I don't think I'm going to make it to this one, but this is the next weekend, December 8th through the 10th. I think this is the first time in several years Wisconsin has had an ice fishing expo that I'm actually really excited about. I don't think I'm going to make it this year, but hopefully next year. It's supposed to be a pretty dang nice show. So check this one out if you're interested. The sponsors are across the bottom here. Pretty dang exciting. 2 left for you. Arrowhead Ice Fishing and Winter Show. So this is the Duluth one. I haven't heard a ton. I've never gone to the Duluth one. I'm not going to it this year, but I haven't heard a ton about how popular it is. I'm not sure if anybody here in the chat has been to this one, but I don't know how big it is, so I can't tell you. But it is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the 8th through the 10th, which you're going to see are the exact same dates as the Wisconsin one. So if you're in Wisconsin or you're in Duluth, I think they're like the two shows are like 6 hours apart from each other. So it's not like you're competing with it. You're going to be closer to one of them. But yes, so those are those. And then the Ultimate Fishing Show that I just found out about today is in Detroit, Michigan, January 11th to the 14th, which for Michigan in the Detroit area, I guess this is about early ice for them. Never been to it. Probably not going to go this year, but it's the 11th through the 14th if you're in the Detroit area at that time. All right. Any questions? We're to that time in the episode. Any questions from anybody? I see we got 40 people tuned in right now. Smash that like button if you're liking the episode. I would really appreciate it. We've got northern west of the cities. If you're talking about the North Metro Ice Show, yes, northwest Twin Cities in Minnesota. So it's in a city called Ramsey, Minnesota. Good question, Kyle. Good question for clarification. Broke Mofo Outdoors with Luke. Are you coming to the Duluth show? I am not coming to the Duluth show this year. What's the biggest show that's put on? St. Paul Ice Fishing Show, as far as I know, is the largest one in the country. I know that it has been in the past. I believe it still is holding that title. I'll be at the one in Sioux Falls this year. Great. I'll be at Sioux Falls as well, probably Friday, Saturday, maybe even Sunday. It's a big show. It's one of the early shows where you can get in front of a lot of the vendors and see a lot of products. They got a lot of things in stock. It's a great show to stock up at. And just so you guys know, if you're looking for show deals, like the best price of the season, it's at the ice fishing shows. And I will tell you this, from the last couple of years, once I started doing kind of the YouTube thing and getting the content out there and focusing on this stuff, I started going to a lot of shows and paying attention to the prices because I want to make sure that I'm telling you guys about the best deals that are out there. That's one of the values that I have is I'm not exclusive to any brand. I'm going to tell you what I think about all the brands. I don't care what brand it is that I recommend. I'm going to tell you the best parts about all of them because everybody's got different needs. Eskimo may be good for somebody. Otter may be good for somebody else. Another brand, maybe Clam, may be good for somebody else. So I'm just like to share that stuff. And then I like to share deals. All of the ice shows that I've been to, which I've been to most of them, all have the same show prices. One exception is that the St. Paul Ice Fishing Show typically is one of the last ice shows to happen in Minnesota. And so typically vendors at that point, if they have product left, sometimes they sweeten the deal a little bit, and sometimes the vendors will compete with somebody else at the show. So like for instance, if you're looking for a Garmin Live Scope and you're wanting to buy it at the St. Paul Ice Show, go to a couple of vendors, see what the prices are there. Typically, you can get one of them to say like, I'll cover the tax for you if you buy it from us. So that's one thing to know. But typically, if it's any other product, you're going to get the same price at the very first show as the very last show. So don't think, oh, I wonder if this show is going to have better pricing. Most vendors have products that are between 10 to 25% off. 20% is typically the average on any accessory, and then 10% on any of the bigger items. Or they'll start bundling items. So you buy a shack and you're going to get a shack cover and high fax and a tow bar with it or something like that. You buy an auger. I know Eskimo, the E40 auger, I just heard that they're going to actually have bundles where you get a good deal on the auger, so below MSRP, plus you're going to get a free battery, extra battery with it as well at some of the show prices. So I heard that. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm 95% sure because I heard it from somebody that's actually hosting one of these shows. So I'm pretty sure that'll stick. Of course, they can change that at any point, but yeah. Jim Seagraves, do you have St. Cloud Shields Ice Fest on your list? I don't. I'll add it. So St. Cloud Shields does one. Eden Prairie Shields does one. I'll get those added in. Thanks, Jim, for calling that out. Really appreciate it. How much? How much is the VIP? I think the VIP to St. Paul is $25. So the VIP is $25. And then if you want to go adult non-member, like if you're a Good Sam member, if you're not a Good Sam member, it's normally $15. So it's $10 more for VIP. The VIP hours are listed here, 11 to 1 on Friday, 8 to 10. This is for the St. Paul Ice Show. The VIP pass gets you in during these hours, but of course you also get access to the normal hours. So if you get VIP on Saturday to get in at 8 a.m., you don't have to leave at 10 or pay $15. You can stay for the whole show. It just gets you in that extra little bit early, which is nice because a lot of times what you're going to see at these shows is they'll actually do giveaways for the first X number of people that come in. So I've seen buckets. So like Thorn Bros at the St. Paul show typically does it. Clam, I think typically has a few hundred buckets that they'll give away at shows where like the first so many people that visit the booth get like a 5-gallon, 6-gallon bucket type of thing. But then there's other companies like Reeds, I think, did it last year at the St. Paul show where they actually did a drawing where if you bought like an ice suit from them, or I think it was over a certain dollar amount, you got a ticket at the register. And then they had drawings where you could win free striker suit. You could win a free auger. You could win all these free products, or you could win nothing. It's a drawing and you draw it immediately. But once they run out, they run out. So there is a benefit to getting in early. Assortment, they sell out. They're at the show, so they only have so much stuff with them. Hopefully they stock up, but there's a lot of benefits to going to the VIP. So excited for ice fishing. Me too. People think I'm crazy. I started talking about this stuff like at the beginning of September, but I'm stoked. Ice fishing is right around the corner. It's going to be October next week, so I'm really excited about it. You're from Duluth. It's a decent sized one. Oh, Luke, thank you for the info. Have you been to any of the others? How does it compare? I'd be interested to know. I don't know if I saw it in here, but I think somebody asked about North Dakota. The North Dakota Ice Fishing Show is not going on this year. I'm not 100% sure why. I heard last year and the year before there wasn't very good attendance, but I know it was one of the shows that some of our Canada friends came to. So I'm kind of sad that that they're not doing it this year, because I was actually going to go to it to meet with a couple of those people, but it is what it is. They got the Wisconsin show though this year, so that's pretty exciting. Nothing like the St. Paul one though. Okay, good, Luke. You already answered the question. All right. Looks like the Clam Lock mount for the run and gun. Oh, that makes sense. I don't know why it says clam. Oh, this should say Clam Lock. That makes 100% sense. So, okay. This makes sense. It has nothing to do with what's on the screen, what I talked to you guys about. So Clam has their accessory mounts. Chad, I think you won chat for this episode. Clam Lock plate. These guys. So you can hang it on the hub in your hub house, the wall. It's this guy right here. So this actually is a little wedge that you can put wherever you want in your shack. You can put it on the hub. You can mount it with 2 screws onto the wall. Hi, Sam Sobey. On the wall of your permanent shack. That's what it's for. So you can hang it there so it's not on the floor. Man, Chad, you nailed it. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Thank you, Chad. Nice job. Mr. Kink says, would you say best time to get an ice shack is Black Friday other than the shows? Yes. If you're not going to make it to any of the shows, you want to buy it online, or you don't want to go to any of the shows, Black Friday and Cyber Week are the best times to get it, 100% for sure. The other thing to look at too is like some retailers like Shields, so they do their Ice Fest days where they typically have close to the actual show and expo pricing in their stores on those days, and it's typically store by store. So like St. Cloud and Eden Prairie have an Ice Fest, their Shield shows, but they're local promotion, so they're not going to be available on their website. The deals are available in their stores during those hours only. But yes, I would agree with that. And I will be doing another Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Cyber Week stream. Check out my channel for the one that I did the last 2 years. I literally try to find you every deal that I can. I list it out so you can just say, here's how much it is, here's how much I save, click a link, and you're good to go. So make sure that if you're not subscribed to the channel, you're going to want to subscribe just for that if you're looking to pick anything up Black Friday. I try to put it out right away, if not before, like late Thanksgiving evening. I try to get it up right away Black Friday morning for you. So yes, check that out. End of ice season is the best time for sales. Technically, you're right. So at the very, very end of the ice season, so when you're no longer ice fishing, if you wanted to wait that long, but if you want to use it this year, that doesn't work for you. So wait until, March. You're going to find 50, 60% off of things. This year, like if you need an electric auger, this is the year to buy an electric auger. The competition is going to be crazy this year between all Razor, the Eskimo, the Alpha, the StrikeMaster, all the other brands that I've been set, like Cage. There's so many brands that are out there nowadays. Jiffy. Jiffy just got purchased though. Is Ion? Yeah. Artisan. I think they purchased it. But anyways, there's a ton of brands out there. This is going to be a year that you're going to get really good deals on the electric augers. It's going to be highly unprofitable for a lot of the auger brands just because of the competition, but it's going to be interesting to see how it goes this year. Ice fishing, I can't wait either. Yes, totally. Usually on ice the first or second weekend of December. I try to get on the ice the weekend of Thanksgiving if I can, depending on ice conditions. So we'll see how this year goes. Is Black Friday better or one of the shows better to get a Garmin at? I've got some info coming out here in the next couple of weeks where you can build your own Garmin bundle. The best way to get it, if you're open to buying the screen, buying the live scope thing, buying your shuttle separately and your pole separately and put it together, that's going to be how you get the best price. And it will be around Black Friday, Cyber Monday. If you want to buy a pre-made bundle, it's going to be at the ice shows or on Black Friday. Either one, they're going to be very comparable. Will you be posting the Ion Alpha Eskimo E40 comparison video? I will be. I haven't done it yet because I don't have an E40 yet. I was able to try the E40 last year, but I didn't have the Alpha with me, so I couldn't do a side-by-side comparison. So I'm getting an E40 this year, and I already have the Ion Alpha Plus, the 8-inch composite. So it'll be 8-inch composite versus 8-inch composite, like side-by-side. I'll do that early ice this year, maybe once we get like a foot of ice, so I can do some drill tests and whatnot, but I will be putting it out this year. Have you ever ran an Otter rod case with the rod case? I have, yeah. The 48-inch deep is the one that I had. It was great, but it's massive. I have a short bed box on my truck, and it literally took up like so much space. I got rid of it, and I use a Rapala double barrel soft-sided case that I absolutely love. It protects them, obviously not as well as that box, but if you're hard on your stuff and you're going to just leave it out on your machine, those rod cases are awesome. Minocqua, Wisconsin. Kurtz Island has good sale on shacks every fall. Good to know, Kyle. Thank you for that. All right, last one, and then I got to sign off for the night. Thinking about running that this year. Yeah, you should. It's a great thing. You can find some deals usually on Marketplace too. Right around this time of year too. So check that out. All right. Thank you all so much for staying till the end of the podcast this week. We will be live again next week, 6 p.m. Central on Tuesday. Thanks again so much for watching. Until next time, take it easy.